Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on therealpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Time to call your friends, ladies and gentlemen, and stand by for the broadcast. Next.
Okay, fair notice for the listener. This program is a workshop for our friends and family. There will be no grandstanding or large postings, nor other promotions. Cross this line and you will be blocked from this chat. Thank you for your cooperation. And I would like to welcome to Ask Dezert-Owl on the Forbidden History series. I'm NinjaCat. I just want to say g'day to Anna and Lynn and anybody else who has just joined, and any new listeners. G'day, hope you're all safe and well and warm, most of you. It's even cooled down here in Australia over the past couple of nights, but anyway, moving on. This is a live call-in program. It's a caller-generated program. We welcome live calls with questions, comments. If you just want to give us an update, if you're dealing with something and you want to have a chat, you're welcome to call in on 608 566 7295. That's 608 566 7295. Or you can Skype NinjaCat, all one word, NinjaCat. It's the white circle with the purple NinjaCat in it with the sword. And any first-time callers automatically get a free gift, the Handbook of Christianity, a beautiful transliteration by Dezert-Owl. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, in essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of recorded history, who they are and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were and the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are all man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is a grand deception that is used to control all of mankind and all instituted through the four main religions of the world in particular, and used as their grand cover. Their cybercode has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. He can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical burning up of the phoenix. Desert discusses the ultimate in mind control and ancient art and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self, will, and mind to their blind goddess, who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, print media, and religion, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it based on the ancient communication and symbol. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the Old World Order from the very beginning of recorded history. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it because they have engineered all of it, while they are cleverly leaving us in the dark, hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it all comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemical aerosol spraying of our sky, to fluoride in the water, to tainted vaccines, to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all at birth by the clever means of deception, because we, most all, are their cattle, chattel, property, and because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, a Wall Street security. But they are all through with us now, as it is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. It says we are a virus upon the earth. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And now, here's Dezert-Owl.
And welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be here and good to have you here at the same time. We have a lot of miles to go today. It's I like doing the program in the Morgan. It's just a time when you're more fresh. It's when I'm more fresh, and I'm not worn out yet from half the day, and it's just it's exciting to share information with people in ways and with resources that they may not have been privy to, and so I know that's why a wonderful group of people, they come back every program every week and have been toughing it out with us, because we're in a tough world now, and we've got to tough it out together with people of like minds, people that we know, not like the people that pop in every now and then that are the destroyers, because they're there. And once you get big enough, then ultimately it gets spoiled by these spoiled brats. But that's what I like about the small group. I've always, when I did my broadcast, I said, I'm only, as far as I'm concerned, there's one out there, just one out there that needs to hear this. I'm only speaking to the one. I don't, never had ambitions to have a million listeners or anything like that. I've been on other networks. I've been on 4 networks at one time, and because you can do it by phone, so I could did over 40 hours a week, on 4 different networks. So most people only do 15 hours a week. I was doing 40, and it was because I had a message. I was trying to get it out. I didn't know where all this was going to go or play out, over time. But I knew the information that the Heavenly Father, through Yahshuah, was a relevant truth, and that it was for those who could hear, who wanted to hear, and not those who already thought they already knew everything without having done the legwork or paid their dues, and so, and of course, people who are for real and since on the real journey, they're also respectful and sincere, and that like I got beaten up today on some other channel. I saw the comment come in, and so so they're slamming me because of my name, and so it shows that they don't have the respect that Yahshuah teaches. So that's where, going back to Anna, when we were talking, about the tree and the fruit, you can know a tree by its fruit. This individual's up there posing themselves as Christian and on the right road and all these other things, but when it comes to looking at somebody else, they can slam them and insult them and injure them, because all those things are relative to targeting another and saying bad things about them that are not true. So that's on the Christian channel. That's the one where all the Christians go to, and that's the one where I got persecuted. Just today. So I just brushed it off like you're brushing off a little dust off your shoulders, because it's not worth even responding. I wouldn't dignify their comments with a response, nor would I, I'm saying that it's their problem, not my problem. and I'm not going to make it my problem. And I've been down that rabbit hole where, you know, as soon as you make a justifiable statement back to somebody, then all of a sudden they throw some more dirt at you, and it becomes a little tug of war. You know, who's going to have the last word here? You know, so it's just pathetic. It's just a pathetic world. And the good news, it's not our world. You know, they're going to be stuck here. They're when they're breathing their last breath, they're gonna be on their knees and worshiping Yahweh, who they hate, you know, who they hate with a passion, and not be able to go back to the light that they claimed they were of all along. You know, so it's a rather ironic state we're in. Not now. I have standing by a longtime friend to our broadcast and listener and wrench lady. She's got the wrench also, and that's Lynn out of Pennsylvania. I've got to unplug my headset now, so stand by before we bring Lynn on, because I've got to use my Logitech webcam. So we're engineering. We're engineering, and now give me an audio check, Ninja, if you would please. Audio check. We coming in?
Yes.
All right, good. We got. Check. Okay, you're good. Okay, my phone is speaking. Look at that. Okay, so Lynn, welcome to the broadcast. How you doing out there in Pennsylvania, Transylvania?
I know, right? Hey, Desert. Hey, Ninja. Anna. Saw Kev come in. Hi, Kev.
Yeah, and now Ninja, are we balanced? Do we sound balanced?
Talk again, please. Both of you.
Okay.
Not at once.
You're in Pennsylvania, Transylvania, right, Lynn?
I sure am.
Okay, and you got fake snow coming down?
Tonight it starts to snow again. Oh my gosh, we have so much snow.
You both
good.
You both good.
Ninja?
You both
Ninja?
good. 10-10.
All right. All right, 10-10. Okay, so Lynn, what you got?
Not too much, Desert. Just wondering how you guys are doing. I thought I'd give you a call. I thought we're waiting for callers to call in. I figured your moderator better call sooner or later. Check in, tell you all is well.
Okay, great.
My son's recovered from his fake virus.
Well, great. Yeah, like I told you, it was the flu. That's all it is. There is no, pandemic. It's anybody that's being touted as having COVID and they're legitimately sick. They got the flu. That's all it comes down to. Just to clarify, I've really been doing the research on this. I've got some good videos. I got to send out another email with these other links on it. But there is no VACCINE. Okay, that's what they want to give us. It's not a VACCINE. It is actually an mRNA biological experimental injection treatment. That's what it is. And it's a forced experimental gene therapy and alteration. And the bottom line, the reason they have to give you 2 injections is because the first one is laying the groundwork for the second one, because the first one puts toxins in your body that the body will modify its approach to defending against it, and then the incubation period is 3 weeks approximate, and then after the 3 weeks you get the second injection, and the body immediately attacks this foreign element that's intruding. And so I can't explain the science well enough, but Dr. Lorraine Day and a couple others explained it very well. And so we'll have to probably put the links in the bottom of the now that we're talking about it, Ninja, links in the bottom of the description. I think you've got them, but I'll clarify what 2 videos they are that they need to watch.
Yeah. Or we can put them in the comments. They'll be easier to find there. I can put them in the comments. I can put them in both sections.
Well, okay, if you know what they are, if you know which ones they are. Okay, and so, or there's 3 of them. I don't remember off the top of my head. That's why I was saying, we would do it later.
We'll
but
do it later. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, Lynn, I'm glad we're on. I know Anna's happy and you're happy we're on early, because you don't stay up late, and certainly that's too late for Anna over there in Finland. So
Yep. While I'm here, I want to encourage everyone to get your books. Desert, what do you have? 24 of them now?
Yeah, 24 up on Amazon. Yeah.
Yep.
The dictionary.
I have the Book of Wisdom here by Joseph of Arimathea, and the original thought in the Indo-Germanic Aramaic Etymological Dictionary. Is that a mouthful or what?
That's a tongue twister, isn't it? I'm telling you. Yeah. And so couple, it's not that I've produced 24 different books, like in other words, the 2020 Indo-Germanic Etymological Dictionary and thesaurus is a black and white version or color. I recommend the color for anybody that's serious about the study, because it's color coded. I have words in there color coded so you can immediately see them, they can make the connections. But for those who are also broke and toughing it out, I made a black and white version, which is basically like half the price. So I was thinking of everybody, in the mix of creating these books. So a couple books are duplicated, like the Book of Wisdom. There's a big version, a small version. So I produced, we could say, about 18 different books, but some of them are duplicated to give cost options to the people that are struggling today. That's all. Yeah. And I'm about done with the Lost Gospel of the Silk Road. So that's been a great experience. Transliterating that now, more than halfway done. I'll be done in about 2 weeks, and it's amazing when you're translating, how it's like being an archaeologist. You're brushing the dirt away, and you're finding out what it really was saying. Because the translator, even though they did a good job, most often they could have done a better job. They were there, they were almost there, but they weren't there yet. And this is the gift that the Father has given me. But also I rely on all my other experts. I got 50 experts that help me to learn from them, and I rely upon their translations. I compare them. Then I go into the dictionaries, and I have ancient dictionaries, and going back into the Hittite and Old English, Middle English, you name it, Indo-Germanic. I've got all of that, and the Welsh dictionary, the Sanskrit dictionary. I've got dictionaries. I have to go look to remember what I've got, but I've got archaic dictionaries, the dictionary on vulgar tongues. All this material at arm's length right here to me is crucial in being a translator. You can't be a translator and not have dictionaries, and really nobody has a dictionary yet. If they don't have Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary, then they simply do not have an English dictionary, because his is the most superior English dictionary, and it's a thesaurus at the same time. How this guy did that 200 years ago with all the primitive technologies they had back then, it's amazing. But real quick, he had a giant round table. First, he sailed across the ocean into Europe, into France, into England, and wherever else he went to. And he bought books, bought dictionaries, brought them back. He built a giant round table, and he opened up the books on this giant round table. And as he was looking at a definition in each book, he'd move the table. The table would rotate in a circle, and he'd look through the next book and the next book and the next book while he's writing down his notes. It was genius. But how he before he started, he spoke like 10 languages. When he was done, he could speak about 20 languages. And then he does the better version of the King James Bible on top of that, after that, so it's just amazing, what some people can do. I'm ashamed of my inabilities, when I see what other people have done.
Well, we think it's amazing, Desert. Thanks for your efforts, brother.
All righty. Well, anything else on your end, Lynn?
Nope, we're good, D. Just wanted to check in.
Okay, very good. Then you have a good day out there, okay? And just sit back and enjoy the program.
Will do, Desert.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll talk later on.
All right.
All right, I'm going to plug my headset back in. And that was Lynn out there in Pennsylvania, Transylvania. Let me get my headset on. Oh. Okay, so come on. All right, testing. Testing. Okay, we're back. I'm back. Am I back?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now Anna, had a couple. She wanted me to do a program on words basically because that's a major hill to climb, and I think I should dedicate a program to doing that. Maybe when we get on the cosmic essence, that's what
Yes. Perfect.
we can do.
Yeah.
And now, I'm getting hot over here. Let me get my other shoes because I got these hot moccasins on and it's killing me. This is a bad radio, but it's the real public radio. So they got all the money. We don't have any money, but we do get it done on a song, a wing, and a prayer. And you are our prayer, ladies and gentlemen. So, and is Anna asking another question? Who is the one that should be ashamed? Okay, people who don't care, right? People who don't care. That's the answer, I guess, Anna. But now what I'm saying is, I've been struggling all these years, like there's all these people out there, with money, millionaires, right? They got all this money and all these years I struggled to find a sponsor to, put the fix in, but instead I had to crawl, scrape and struggle and in this, I'm, having what I have, but yet not being able to publish, couldn't find anybody to help me figure out Word. It took me years to figure out how to do Word because I can't, I wasn't good at technology. I didn't grow up with a computer. So all of these barriers, were keeping me. And I was like, my thoughts just, a few years ago, because it was all last year, I put up 24 books, but I was like, will I ever do it? Will I ever be able to publish a book? I tried getting, other friends to help and all this. And there's nobody, there was nobody that even cared what I was doing. My closest friends didn't even care that I was on the crucible of the most important information on the planet, the original thought. Nobody else is there. They're stuck in the Hebrew and the Greek and reading the materials that the people who hate our guts, following the Babylonian Talmud, have provided for us. The Masoretic text, the where they brag that every letter is dotted and every T is crossed and every version is perfect. It's always the same. But they didn't tell you that before they created the perfect non-version, they screwed it all up. They changed the words. They shuffled the verses. They lied about the books. They stole from us, like the biggest of them all, the book of Jasher, that should have been in there, mentioned twice in Samuel and First Samuel or Second Samuel and First or Second Kings, and the other story, the story behind the story on the patriarchs. All of this stuff. It's all one charade. It's all a scam. And once you woke up to it and you can prove it, and you can see it everywhere, it can't even hide anymore. Everything on any documentary they ever talk about is a lie. The first 10 things they say on a documentary about the Christianity or about the ancient past, in Israel and all this, lie, 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 lie. And the people aren't sophisticated enough to know it. So they hear the propaganda, hear the propaganda over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And so what do you think? They bought into every lie. And so none of us are really smart, and I'm not smart enough because Yahshuah revealed this to me. Okay? Ninja, I don't. All right. It's too late. It's already there. Okay.
I'm sorry. I forgot to change over to Cosmic on the phone.
Yeah.
That was all. I forgot to switch.
That's okay. That's all right. Just I told her I don't want that yellow banner there because it's like a real eyesore, and it's just those things. That's why those grandstanders coming in. We're not going to tolerate that anymore because it distracts me. We have a class here. We're trying to inform people about things they've not heard before. And so the distractors will come in and we don't need to do our own distracting. I need all the help I can get. That's what I was saying. I think that was my point about this. And but Ninja, I just want to say she does a fantastic job. Ninja, I couldn't do this without you. And so, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you were the only one who actually came along, at the beginning, at first, because Shelley came in for a good while and gave us a year of, on the other channel. But the archive, right? Shelley produced all that, the Forbidden History Archive. She produced all that. But Ninja have been tolerating me all along here. All my what do I want to say? Idiosyncrasies. I don't know the word. My drive to put up a perfect broadcast. That's what we're trying to do, to be as professional, because I used to do professional broadcasts, and so she's challenged because I'm saying, okay, we have our little meeting, and we talk about how we're going to approach the broadcast, because we want everyone to enjoy the broadcast. We want everyone to know that we're for real, and that we embrace the philosophy that Yahshuah has imported into us, that is that to be a perfect creation, to put on the perfection of light. And so that's what we're attempting to do. It's just yesterday, I'm looking at some other Christian saying, the whole axiom again: nobody's perfect, not gonna be perfect, don't want to be perfect, and there you go, and so that's their Christian attitude. Okay, so then you don't follow the philosophy of Yahshuah, right? You don't follow the philosophy. You claim to be a Christian, then you're going to say that idiosyncrasies. Thank you very much. It sounds like India, doesn't it, Lynn? And so it's amazing how the sacred text is like a rag to these people, that they wipe their mouth with it every now and then, but they never get pure, because purity is perfection. Perfection is completion. Weren't we supposed to be made complete? Not, oh, I'll never, be able to live up to it, or, or what did it say? That you would know the truth, and the truth would set you free. So what they're saying is, no, they're always going to be slaves. They're always going to be slaves. They're not going to be set free. So all we have to do is be scholars and read. It's okay. It's going up to rank, Ninja. Let me take a sip of my drink here and pace myself before I get. All right. Well, okay. So Anna, she had asked me a question. Now, where did that note go? I put it away. I threw the note. Shows you how when you're talking, you could be doing something and you don't even know what you're doing. I threw away her note that she had wanted a couple words. So I'm going to do a couple words for you, Anna, real quick. And because you brought on a couple names right at the beginning, and I think it was Moses. Yeah, here it is. Moses, Moses and Marion. So let me correct those, because if I don't know, if that was your implication that that's the way they were spelled. But okay, so let's take Moses first, M-O, and hold back on the chat now so I can do the word examples, please. And want to welcome any new listeners to the broadcast. We've got a workshop. It's called Ask Dezert-Owl on the Forbidden History series, and we go where nobody else goes. We're talking about what nobody else talks about. At least I don't see it out there. Okay, I've been doing this all my life, and so I know what we're doing here is something you hang in there. You got to hear a couple programs, okay? Because at first your head will start spinning. You might start hyperventilating, and then you could even pass out. But if you hang in there with us, you'll actually realize that there's more to the story than we've been told. And the first thing we need to know is we've been lied to about everything. Okay, and so Moses, M-O-S-E-S, which is more correctly M-O-A-S-H-A-N, but okay, and I'll just put that up there, Moishan. And then the most complete there didn't fit again. The most complete would be M-O-L-A-S-H-A-N, Moleshan. Okay, so you can see how it goes, but the SES is a corruption, just like we talked about the other day. ISIS and Issa and Isha, and those are all corruptions of Aisha. Okay, so I'm not going to spell it all out because we got a lot of ground to cover, and I got to get to the final hours if we can do it today. So then the other one was Mary. So Mary is all the oldest texts have Miriam. There is no Mary. Okay, we have the evidence that the Vatican shortened it because they realized Marian was too close to the original. Miriam is not the original. Miriam. Okay, and it is here it goes for those who are new listeners. Maytzarayim. Medecine. Okay, there's Miriam, Medecine, and that's the same name, the original name for Egypt. Okay, because it means the mother's royal power in the ray of the many. Reading the lexicography, there's different ways you can read the word, but as you can see, the month of May is there. Well, that was like, Meitzar on the Nile River was like a garden. It was paradise. 1 mile off the river, you're in a no man's land, but along the river, it was paradise. And then the Tsar is a star. And so it's the mother's star ram. That's a one way to say it. It depends upon how you read the variables in the letter complex. Well, not the same as Egypt. Egypt is a code for 8, and it means you can see the same letters in the word 8 basically in Egypt. There's just a switch out between the well, I have to do it on paper, because you cross the lines to meet the other one, and but basically that's it. The one letter is replacing the P, E-G-Y, and I don't want to dwell on it, but I'm just giving it to you. And what it means is return. Okay, because 8 is return. It's about full cycle. And what it implies in the code is that they fully intend to keep Egypt as in the forefront. And so just like I found a book, I can't remember what it was called now, but the very first page in the book, I found it at a used bookstore, and it said as long as Phoenicia, that's the Phoenicians, as long as Phoenicia lives, Egypt will not die. You see, so they're keeping that was the first front office. In other words, just like the Vatican is the front office now for world domination, and the Jews are under them. Okay, they're under them for that world domination. They got their Babylonian Talmud, but so the first front office that the ancient Brahmin were operating as the unseen hand was Egypt, what we call Egypt, but is Medecine. And so then when we see the Rome and the Vatican, well, that pyramid on the back of the dollar bill, okay, well, that pyramid on the back of the dollar bill is too narrow. If you look at it, it's too narrow to be an Egyptian pyramid or a pyramid of Gazar. Okay, Gaza pyramid is Gazar, and it is actually on the back of the dollar bill. That pyramid with the all-seeing eye at the top is in Rome. Okay, that's because it's a monument. It's a monument to their legacy of world domination, the front office of the unseen hand, the one world government. The Vedic culture, the one world Vedic culture. That's what I was trying to say. The one world Vedic culture. And so anyway, where was I going with all this? Just the fact that, like, if you look at your keyboard on your iPhone or on your computer, what are the two central letters on your keyboard? Okay, right in the middle you got GH. We've talked about it before, but for those that are new, okay, GH, and it means return. It's pronounced, and I'll type that one in there. GH is pronounced AIGHT, which of course we see is the word 8. It's not eat, it's 8, and so it's it would be the AE combination would be the better way to spell it, but I can't do it here on the chat. Okay, So so I gave you Moses, Anna, and Mitzrayim, and then you did Joseph correctly. You got Volei Shafei for Joseph, Volei Shafei, and it means the volumes of the royal eye. Aisha is royal eye that came down. Let me think of one more. Well, okay, a really important one to know is Elijah. Okay, where they're saying at the end Elijah would come. Right. This is the way. I want to do a qualifier for this one because you know, to give you more substance. Okay, so like in the in the book of Jude, right? He says, and Michael came with 10,000 of his royal messengers. You know, but Michael is not. It's not a name like somebody's name. You know, it's a title, and in other words, it's an expression. And so Michael, Michael, not the correct spelling, but we'll go with that since everyone knows it. And then it literally means the one who is like one who is like y'all. Okay, and so okay. Oh, we got somebody stopping by. Bloom. Okay, my account's still blocked. Marve 8 likes. YouTube 1 blocked. Okay, don't know what that is. So we have okay, so another one is James, which is really Jacob, but that's a corruption, which is YAHLLKHOVAY. Okay, oh, I put in the wrong symbol here. Hang on a minute. Almost there. Okay, YoChelleG. Okay, there we go. James, you see how you know they get us so same what they did with Mary, right? From Miriam. So they get from Jacob, they went further and they changed it into James, you know. But yet the letter J, it didn't exist officially in our alphabet up until 200 years ago. It's a corruption. Even in Middle English, there was no J. It was 2 I's. One was a consonant, one was a vowel. And so it's a Y, as you can see there. And so it's correctly Yalkove. And so like in the Gospel of Thomas, where it says, whenever you want to find the truth, it says in there, seek out James the just. But that's not what it was really saying. This is the game they played on us. They convert these titles into what looks like names, and I'm going to do it coming up next with Elijah. Okay, and so when he says when you're looking for the truth, seek out James the just. No, is when you're seeking the truth, seek out the seed of light. Okay, TSEED of LYGHT. That's what I didn't even type in there. What's going on? Okay, the TSCED of light LYGHT. Seek out. Okay, I'm asking people to hold back. I'm doing a program here, and I'm trying to. Okay, I'm going to remove this because I'm. You know, people got to be listening. Okay. Other things, if you have a problem or whatever, contact us on the side. You know, our email, our phone number is down there and everything. Okie doke. So we're trying to present some words here. And I guess I'll put it back in. I'll just copy it and put it back in. Sorry about that, Marve, but I've asked everybody not to hold back here, and so that we could do this presentation. Okay. And then that is control copy. Okay, Ninja, got it. All right, the seed of light. And so now I'm going to put in Elijah. Okay, these distractions really affect the program, friends. So just be aware to hold back. Okay, when we're doing the words. And so Elijah, and I'm typing right now, is Zuli, Tzool. Doing it off the top of your head is always a challenge at times. Zul. Okay, yeah, I got it. A-Y, yeah, Y-A-H-L-L. Okay, so there's Elijah. I should have put it underneath. Oh, geez, I forgot that. Let me try it again. It's easier when it's above and below. I'll just, golly. Okay. You know, at 64 years old, I'm not as sharp as I used to be. So I get distracted really easy by disruptions, and because this is a deep study, as you can tell. I got to stay focused, or if I don't, how can people spell these type of words like this off the top of their head? And it's a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to give you the meaning now of what Dezert-Owl means. Dezert-Owl. Remember, El came out of Babylon, and it was to hide Zul. And there you can see the royal T, the Z of the lightning strike, the power, and the owl, the OOL. And so it means the royal power of vision. So when they said at the end of time Elijah would come, it wasn't a guy. They weren't talking about a guy. They were talking about a cause and an effect. Something was going to happen. Something was going to happen that was going to make history. Okay, and so Dezert-Owl. Okay, so Zul is the royal power of the eyes, and the AY is the eye, and the Yal is that which goes round. What's going round? Thank you, Anna. Okay, so Dezert-Owl, the royal power of the eye for vision that goes round. That's what it is. The royal eye of vision, the royal power in the eye of vision that goes round. You see, I read it from beginning left to right. The royal is the T, the Z is the power, the Ul is the vision, the AY is the eye, and the Yal is that which goes round. And on the Dayal, see the Dayal. Okay, so there it is. I read it for you. So what it was talking about, what would come at the end of time, but the royal power of vision within the eye to see everything that's going round and going down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about vision, but we don't see today the visionaries, right? We don't see, well, who has unraveled this mystery of the great con that's been put on us by the global con, blah, blah, blah. The pastors and the preachers at the pulpit waving their hands, flashing, reading their King James, and when they're actually Freemasons and Jesuits, right? That's why there's no knowledge going around, because it's all controlled by the Vatican agents. You see? And the Jews, the Khazarian Jews, to be more specific, right? The Masoretic text, give me a break. By the Masorites out of Switzerland, Banking 101. Why is the Pope guarded by the Swiss Guard? Put two and two together. Even King Louis of France was guarded by the Swiss Guard. Wonder why? Huh? They took their heads off. So Anna, I hope this mini presentation, what I'll do, because I really wanted to do this, I wanted to go through, I was just thinking of it this week, I want to go through a list of all the key names, and I'll show you what the original thought is in these original words. You see, we're in a modern time. We're speaking Pig Latin. The most corrupted form of communication on the planet, but we can't see it because we think, because we got all these electronic toys and rocket ships and everything, that we're better than everyone else. In fact, that's how they brainwashed Americans, right? We're better than everybody else. Oh, wow, really? You mean our freedom is better than the freedom of people in Germany or Scandinavia or France or Spain or Italy? I mean, we're more free than they are? I don't think so. Looks like we're all about, the same kind of people having a similar experience, right? Everybody had to get a passport, but they can go wherever they want to go. Everybody has to get a social security number to pay their taxes, but still they could spend money on things that they enjoy, on boats and cars and all these other things. So it's just, they've done such a great hatchet job on our brains that we just can't figure anything out. And because it's a game that they played on us. And so we have to get the picture, ladies and gentlemen. And here I got in front of me the letter X, and if you see an X in any of the words, it's a code. There is no X. Okay? It's an import. It's an import. It's a tipped over T. It's a 90-degree turn on a T. And so okay, so whenever you see the text X, and the X is basically EK. X is EKH Z. X. So there is the X right there, okay? And it's like this word, we see it in the form of EX, as in, for instance, exchange, but it's a corruption because they don't want us to see these primitive roots. EKHZ. Okay, there's the original. And remember, what we're talking about is Indo-Germanic. So the KH in the corruption is CH. Okay, and so they switched out all these letters. They have switched out all these letters, and and so we have been programmed not to question, not to question what is this, what is that, and and that's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. So I just wanted to, we had talked about the mRNA a little bit ago, but I wanted to take the call from Lynn, and also I had a mind to get the answers to the questions of Anna, but I just saw my note here, and I wanted to go back to that mRNA experimental biological injection and treatment for gene therapy on your body that they want all of us to take, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to point out that, like in Australia and other places, England, I think, as well. I don't know enough about what's going down here on the big continent. I don't watch the Jews. I mean the news. Excuse me. And but I did want to address the nature of tickets and how that could help people in this situation of getting these very hefty fines from the governments, from the sellouts, and from the communist takeover crew. That have it in mind to stick you and then to bury you underground 6 feet. Because they hate your guts and they follow the Babylonian Talmud. In their little con game, their little charade, there is no conspiracies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a clique that has been running our world from the beginning of recorded history. And so, but basically, there is no law, okay? There is no law. What we have is commerce. It's a commercial racket. And that's how they do it. So they set up corporations. Well, we used to have what we called the the 13th Amendment. It's now touted as the missing 13th Amendment, but it was dealing with titles of nobility here in America. It was added right around 1812. Interesting that there was a war in 1812 here in America, and the libraries were burned by the British, and all of that went on. You know, it was because we were refusing the Jewish banking, get the picture, Federal Reserve Bank, okay, and so they burned down the White House and the Library of Congress and all that, and others said, you know, in their newspapers in other parts of the world, that never in history did we ever see a time when that a conquering army would go and burn the library of another's nation. You know, they would conquer them, but not destroy all of their heritage, right? But they did it. The British did it. Why? Because they were hiding some stuff. They didn't want us to know about the original founding of America. That's the name of the game. And so, so the titles of nobility was basically that anybody that received any pension, gift, emolument, title of nobility, and that includes corporation. Corporation is a title of nobility because it separates the flesh and blood from responsibility, and just blame it on the corporation, which is a non-entity. It is an idea on paper in black ink, you see? And so corporations are titles of nobility. And so in there, anyone having anything like that is a foreign agent and could not therefore be a citizen of these United States of America. Okay. And so corporations could not be here, but anyway, we've got them. And so it's a commercial racket. It's a bait and switch type of a game that they've been playing on us all along. The birth certificate, well, if that is in commerce, you know, when they take a Roman slave document, put your feet on the bottom of it, take it to the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C., and then they put $1 million into circulation as a result of your birth certificate. Tell me they didn't bond your hide and put you in chains and bonds, you know? And then when they arrest you in chains, then your birth certificate goes to Wall Street and makes them some money. So there's some incentive to arrest you. Oh, how about that? So seeing it's a commercial racket, there is no law. You have to approach it from a commercial standpoint. And they are making you an offer. They're making you an offer in commerce. You know, in other words, okay, like when the policeman walks up to you, what do you say? Offer, sir? Oh, officer. Offer, sir, may I have your offer, sir? You see, it's right in the word. You can't make this stuff up. And so he's making you an offer. And because he's making you a commercial offer in commerce, well, you have a right to decline it. But rather than argue with him, you know, on the street where he can beat you up and throw you in jail, it's better just to sign it, you know, do what he says to do, take the ticket, go home. But then there's something you can do, you see, because it is an offer in commerce. And what you would want to do is not accept it, but you don't refuse it, because then that's traversing and arguing and also giving them validity. So, and by the way, I used to do Thursday nights with Dave Dreamer and Howard Griswold, and these were like the two toughest law researchers in America. And I've known Howard Griswold a long time. He's the one who actually discovered the birth certificate slave document. And okay, Kev, I'll get with that in a minute here. And so anyway, they discovered how the birth certificate thing played out. And so these guys, always being on the cutting edge of discovery, you know, they've finally realized what you do in the commercial response. And basically, you put it in an envelope, your ticket, whatever they gave you, and you put it in the envelope. You don't say anything. You don't write on the ticket. You don't say that's not me, or, you know, or I disagree, or shove it or anything. You don't say nothing. You take the ticket, you put it in an envelope, you address the envelope back to the, you know, to whatever agency it is, and they're going to get it. You should do it right away, because the best time to do it is within the first 3 days. It has here in America, it has to do with Regulation Z. that anybody can retract a contract within 3 days if they are uncomfortable for any reason with a contract. And so then nothing happens, because you didn't accept the offer. They couldn't fool you. They couldn't get you to play their game. You see, because what other people are wanting to do is go to court and argue it. And as the axiom goes very well from the folks at Right Way Law I used to hang out with, they developed an axiom that says arguments are for fools. Because you can't win in their arena arguing. And they know you're innocent. They're going to railroad you to prison. Because they're going to make money on your hide. That's all it's all about. That's why it's in commerce. If we're a law, then they would arrest you and not fine you. You do time, but because it's a commercial racket, they'd rather have the funny money, you see. So that's called neutral response. When you get a ticket to our friends in Australia, our friends in England, or wherever, because it's all the same system everywhere, South Africa, New Zealand, here in America, you just do not accept the offer, and you already know what you're going to do, so you don't have to argue with the policeman on the street and get roughed up and threatened. Keep it simple. And so anyway, that's how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what you can do. Okay, what you can do. It's what I would do. I don't know what's going on in that chat, but anyway, it's really distracting. So I'll try to find those old programs if I can, and maybe replay some of them for people that are trying to figure it out. We'll do excerpts if I can find it. But just to show you that it really does work, I just want to say that there was a guy who did everything Howard Griswold said in that regard. He was dealing with an IRS issue. And for 10 years fighting the battle, and he was getting mail from 3 different offices, different locations in America, like Denver, Minneapolis, or wherever. The IRS was coming at him from 3 directions. And so after 10 years of this, he listened to Howard and did what he told him to do, and he took all of the letters from each of the different offices of the IRS, put them back in a box, and sent them back to each respective location. And as a result, within 30 days, the levy against his bank account and his money was freed up. And the issue was over because he did the thing that he had to do, which was to use the U.S. mail and to return all of the controversy. Now there is no longer a controversy. You see, they want you to keep it open. Remember that when they charge you with something, listen to the word. You are being charged like energy. They are giving you have within your hand the remedy, but you don't know it. And that's why, it's called the charge. You charge a battery, right? You charge a battery, you can go somewhere. So they're counting on you to be ignorant and stupid and drop the ball. But in this time now of treason and what do you want to call it? Betrayal, the betrayal of our fellow man, and by the officials. And by the officers. Offer, sir? Are you making me an offer? I don't accept it. And also, you can also say, I do not accept your offer. I do not consent to this proceeding. I see. Are you in commerce? No, just I'm trying to remember the simple terminology. I do not accept your offer. I do not consent to this proceeding. I reserve all of my natural rights. They can't give you rights. Okay, you have natural rights. And so anyway, these are the things that you can do. And then you don't engage them. In other words, you stay with, I do not accept your offer. I do not consent to this proceeding. I am private. I am private. You have a right to be private. You see, they want to make you a slave. No, excuse me, I'm private. You know, like they want to track you with your phone. They want to track you with your computer. They want to put a tag on your automobile, right? They want to track you everywhere. Well, wait a minute. If you're private, listen to the word license, right? I'm going to type this one in. License, License, is the license. You see, it's the license. It's a lie that it's a lie that a free man has to be given a license. You see, because then that means then the government must be your master. That's where it's all at. So that's a little commercial racket 101, ladies and gentlemen. Put that feather in your cap, all right? And Ninja, I'll tell you what, let's go to a break. And then when we get back, I'm going to read a little more of the book on Facts Are Facts, about the Jewish conspiracy to destroy our world through the Vatican, brought to us by a Jew himself, Benjamin Friedman. I wanted to just read a little bit more in there. I decided to read it with everybody rather than read it by myself, because facts are facts, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to know the facts about the people that are wanting to come and kill us. I think that's important. And so when we get back, we'll go there. And I want to thank everyone for stopping by and participating on Ask Desert Owl. And hope everybody's doing well out there. It's tough. We're going down in flames, our entire planet. And so to try to make sense out of all this, but especially the our spiritual nature and how we're going to be able to leave this world properly is the most important information that we're going to have to deal with. So when we get back, we're going to go there after we do a little bit of Facts Are Facts on Ask Desert Owl, so on the Forbidden History series. So thank you. Time to call your friend or take a break, get a drink, whatever you got to do, and we'll be back in about 5 or 7 minutes.
Yes. Are you buffering? Because it just started to... Yes? Okay, can I get an audio check? Okay, yeah, still here, still here. I'll just read this again. The signal has come good on my end. So welcome back. I hope you're all still with us. Okay, just let me. Okay, we've still got a few people here. Okay, good. Hit refresh. It's all good on this end. And if you can hear me, just let me know in the chat. Okay, I feel the need to read this again. Fair notice for the listener. This program is a workshop for our friends and family. There will be no grandstanding or large postings, nor other promotions. Cross this line and you will be blocked from this chat. Thank you for your cooperation. And I'd like to add the word distractions. So please forgive us for the distractions and the technical difficulties that kind of goes along with it. It's also late here in Australia, so I'm focusing the best I can. The channels on the screen, all of our channels, all links are in the description. Please subscribe to all of them. We are currently broadcasting on the Cosmic Essence and Ask Dezert-Owl with NinjaCat. So please subscribe and check the bell on both so that you don't miss out on any broadcasts, on any live broadcasts. We're alternating between the two channels. The other two channels, the Forbidden History Series and Forbidden History Archive, are Desert's original channels. And if you go back to June 21st on the Forbidden History Series, that's where it all started. Well, Desert's been doing this for years, but in my world, that's where it all started. That was his first program on YouTube. So yeah, so amazing. There is a wealth of information to listen to. So anyway, back to Desert.
Welcome everyone again to the broadcast, any new listeners that are out there. And thank you, Lynn, for the audio check. And so we're going to go into the book Facts Are Facts. And the good news is it's a short book, so it's only 116 pages. You can get it on Amazon. Facts Are Facts by Benjamin H. Friedman. And he was appalled, basically, to summarize his reason for the book, he was appalled at the that the Jewish society as a whole, remember, the lower people, are not in on the game. There's the upper echelon, the lower. But when you look at the corporations, remember I was talking about corporations a little while ago, how originally they were forbidden to be in America, titles of nobility, because it is the corporations, is it not, ladies and gentlemen, right? The Bill Gates Corporation, all, and then like the airlines, the stores, they're all going to make you do something in order to be able to engage them in commerce. You won't be able to fly, you won't be able to buy. You have to take the jab, or you can stay home and you're not allowed to come out. You see, the cell phone is a great metaphor for being in prison. You're in a cell. They know where you are, and they know what you when you text. They can get a printout of your entire text messages anytime they want. It's open source. Okay. So it's really, the corporation is the problem. You see, that's why they were forbidden. That's why the War of 1812, was a move to stop the sovereignty movement in America, because there were the good guys and there were bad guys. There may have even been some good Jews, you know, like Mr. Friedman here. But there's always the power game. They give us the illusion that this was our nation. They gave us the illusion that we were free. All of these illusions, you know. But yet, May 1st, 1776, the first official day of Jewish international communism, is when they claim to have founded America, the Jews, the Jesuits, the Illuminati. Okay, there's your Nazi, right? And and then they gave you the July, the 4th of the July, is everybody's waving the flag. Yeah, baby, come on, let's go get some fireworks, man. We're the freest country on earth, Baba. What do you think about it? Good to me, Bubba. All right, let's go party. Yeah. And yet don't know that you have been tricked and lied to and fooled, and they actually have built a guillotine for you, and in their Noahide laws, Noahide, they put it on Noah, you know, like Noah, you know, he's getting the bad rap too, because it has nothing to do with Noah. They were not a part of that legacy nor that family, but they want to paint it like, you know, they're somehow related to Israel, when Israel ceased to exist in 722 BC. Okay, so it's the grand illusion and the delusion, ladies and gentlemen, and to be set free is to not be a part of this world, because it's their world, it's their playground, it's their sandbox. They hate your guts. They're kicking sand in your face, hoping you'll move, because anytime the pushback comes, then they're just going to push back harder. I mean, I was talking to a friend yesterday, still doesn't get it, and thinks literally they're on the run. You know, they're losing. Oh, it's the game over. Oh, you know, Trump's coming in, and you know, I mean, they own all the technology. They couldn't have ever had it more tight than it is right now. They print the funny money. They have all the technologies. They own the politicians. They own the military forces, and and the judges. Let's not forget the court system, you know, and all the attorneys. Oh, let's add the attorneys, titles of nobility again, attorneys, right? And but yet they're on the run. I think they got us all isolated at 6 feet apart, wearing masks in our home. Don't you? Don't you think they've perfected mind control? Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing that people buy into the cue, you know, the cue ball that's knocking all the other balls around, the cue ball, telling the other balls what to think. So we really, that's why, you know, to put on right thinking, you know, it means to connect with the one who made all things, because he will open your eyes. He will open your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, and you will see things clearly. The anointing is truth, and it is not a part of any lie. All right, so we're in Facts Are Facts, picking it up where we left off last. I'm just going to read a short little blurb, and then we're going to get into our shultres. And remember, scriptures is skip the truth, right? There's your scriptures. Skip the truth. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody had a question. It was Kevin, I think, right? I see that, Ninja, but I want to get back to Kev first, because I realized he had. Where are you at, Kev? Can you repost it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Desert, what about the letter I? Well, the letter I is the blind. It's the blind eye. I'm typing. Okay, I'm not doing too good. Let me try this again. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, is, gosh. There we go. Okay, the blind eye. In other words, when I'm working with the words, anywhere I see the I basically have to take it out. It's not a part of the original. It's not a part of the Indo-Germanic. What you have is a column, and you have a column with a dot on top of it, which is the moon. Okay, it's the moon on a pedestal. It's their Lucy, and that's why it's blind, because she's the blind goddess. In front of the courthouses, like right here, 2 blocks away from me here in town, she's got a pair. The woman has a pair of balances in her hand, but yet she's wearing a blindfold on her, a blindfold. So she's going to dole out your pay. She's going to put truth on one side and lies on the other side in a balance, and she's going to tell you what's what when she's got a blindfold on, right? You see, that's the moon. The moon is blind. That's Lucy, Lucifer. It's a cult, and they're blind. Their little followers are blind. They've turned into little degenerate bastards, and they're playing a game on everyone else and destroying lives, and they think that's really super duper cool, man. You know, super duper. To destroy other lives, to target other people, to gang stalk them, to rape them, to rob them, to deceive them, to betray them. All of those things from the secret societies. That's what you get. And that's why she's got a blindfold on, because she's blind. And so the letter I is a switch out, and typically the letter I would be the Y or the A. There's the typical switch out. So either when you're looking at a word and you're working with it, you just remove it. You just pull it out, and when you remove the I, all of a sudden the word gets more clear. I'm talking about going back to the source, to the root form. Because the I, you just throw a letter in a word, it's going to disrupt it, and that's what they do with the I. But very often you can also then change it when to test it and to change it to a Y. Typically, a Y is at the beginning of a word, but the A, is probably more changed in the middle of a word with the I. You see, so this is the science. This is the science of the game of words, because they played a game with us with the words. And so there's a way that they did it, and once you can know how they did it, then you can begin to work your way backwards to original. That's why it took a lifetime, right? What was it, a week ago about? And for the first time in all these years, because I was reading that one book that had the oldest translation from the oldest documents of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and in there, it had, the word for Mary Magdalene. It was Miriam Magdalene. And once I thought about it for a moment, I said, well, if they changed Miriam to Mary to hide the original, then I said, well, then what did they change Miriam from? And once that happened, boom, there it was. It was Medecine. Would it not be then? No, because you've got to know also other root forms, Anna. It's Maytzarayim. Medecine. Yeah, Medecine. You see, that's plural though. For singular, it'd be Maytzar. Meitzar. Egypt is also Meitzar. In other words, it's the difference between Egypt and Egyptian. Okay, so Meitzar is more correctly, but for Mary, being that it's Miriam, because it's plural, so Egypt is Meitzar, but Mary is Meitzarayim. So it's plural. Why? Because she represents the light coming down of creation, virgin creation. And it's plural because it's more than one. It's everything. Okay, so it's plural, Meitzarayim. But Meitzar is correctly what we think of when we say Egypt. So see the difference in the corrupted plural. Of course, we have ing in the modern, right? But that is I am in the corrupted Aramaic, which is correctly A-Y-M. Okay, so there's your distinctions. There's your plurality: working, sleeping, walking. Okay, so it's a continuation of something over and over and over. Uh, and but I am is plural in the corrupt Aramaic, and then AYM is the original thought. The I, the AY is the eye of the mother. Oh, the eye of the mother, yes, because it's the mother's creation. You see, it's the mother's creation. So we have to uh, see things in a new light, in a way we've not seen them before. Boy, now am I going to be able to read? It's getting talked out here. I'll tell you what. I think I'm going to have to just hold on these facts because I want to do the read if I could ever finish it. I want to do the facts. We're going to want to go back to the cosmic essence. I'll hold that because and I had all these words I was going to go through. I just can't stop writing on 3x5 cards. I had all these words, and I'm going to hold back on them maybe for another time because I know that read is so important, and I want to. But tomorrow is Sunday, though, and it'd be maybe more appropriate to finish it on Sunday. So we'll be here again at 9 a.m. So let me think about this. Let me think real quick. We got live thinking going on here. Great for radio broadcasting, but and don't forget you can call in. Lynn called in earlier, and that was great. And okay, yeah, I'll tell you what. I will read it. Facts are facts, because what I'm realizing is it'll be more fun to read that and cap it off on Sunday. I think that's the way to do it because that's the day everybody really wants to chew on some spiritual meat. So we'll do it there. And so I'll just, I have another read of my translation from yesterday. Oh, Ninja's still trying to get my attention. Desert, are the Noahide laws also the 7 deadly? No. The Noahide laws are a corruption of any idea of law. It has nothing to do with Noah, and you can know that because one of the Noahide laws is that you will not eat meat, right? Okay, so if it's from Noah, well, wait, what happened after the flood? The Father told him that he could eat all of the creation, he could eat the meat, okay, because there was little to go around. The world was destroyed, basically in that region of the world, and so he was able to eat the animals, maybe not all the animals. So I'd have to go back and read it now, but clearly the idea of the animals coming out of the ark was that some were clean to, okay to eat. And so he didn't live under any legislated rule, code rule, or regulation. He was following the great breath of the wind and fire. Okay, so the Noahide laws on their face are fraud because Noah was allowed to eat meat. That's what was contrasted with Eshereulva, aka Israel, right? Because after they came out of Meitzar, then they had their code, rules, and regulations, and the book of Deuteronomy and all the other, relative scriptures of that point, and telling them they had to do this, don't do that. You could eat this, but don't eat this. You see, and so they could eat meat back then too. They could still eat meat, but the Essenes, they went full bore and became vegetarians. Because that was the original in the garden in the beginning. They would not have eaten the meat, but the Father knew because of what was in man, and that he was a serpent, that he'd be eating the flesh. Because once he tasted this, he'd want to taste that and taste some of that and throw it on his fire and spit, and hey, this is tasting pretty good, and so, and you're welcome, Kev. So yeah, we've got to be scholars. We're easily deceived when we're not scholars, and we're counting on somebody else to give it to us. Remember, the anointing is truth, and the truth sets us free, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why it's important now more than ever to focus just on the spirituality. The political charade is there to keep your attention, to divert you from looking at something important. Just keep looking over there at the spell, the Washington, D.C. spell, the D.C. criminal cabal, funded by the Federal Reserve, a stage funded by the Federal Reserve Jews. Okay, that's why all the politicians are Jews today. That's why they, you know, all the media are Jews, right? There's an exception out there somewhere, sure. Don't know where it is. Okay, so we're in the book Facts of Facts by Benjamin Frieden, exposing his own culture, liars, and doing a favor for Americans, you know, to shed light on this criminal action against mankind, this conspiracy to destroy mankind, and the hatred that it breeds. In other words, you see all these different factions, you know, from the Ku Klux Klan all the way up here to up to you know, the Black Lives Matter, or this group or that group, right? They're all fighting with each other, you know, and so it's a nothing new under the sun, ladies and gentlemen. And Anna, you're saying, do I eat meat? I eat meat because of my situation. I have to get food from the food pantry, and therefore, you know, the old axiom, beggars can't be choosy, and I take what they give, and so I'm not in a position without an automobile to go, you know, run to the store. I'm being targeted. I'm in a bad situation. So if I could have my way, I would be living as a vegan, and but because you know, they cut me off on the food stamps. You know, they did it here locally in Millersburg because they have it in for me. You know, so I don't even have a lot of resource to you know, get what I need, and so anyway, that's to answer your question, Anna. I do eat meat. But I try to eat salads as much as possible. When I get to the store, I buy a bunch of lettuce and the other ingredients, and then I go for several days just eating salads. But then when it runs out, I can't get there anymore. I can't afford to pay anybody to get me to the store, and I'm not walking because they played every game with me and tried to run me over and all that. You know, so no, it's okay. Well, is eating meat bad or okay? Well, it we have to. Paul said it best. He says some people think that they can eat meat. Some people think that they should only eat vegetables. Um, but if I'm free and feel that I am able to eat meat, I still should not eat my meat in front of somebody that only wants to eat vegetables. Okay, and so we would not offend the other party, because the other party that became a vegetarian doesn't want to kill animals. And so it would be wrong for us to eat our meat in front of somebody in that circumstance. And so the so it is okay to eat meat. We don't have to be condemned for it, but if we want to go on to perfection, the ultimate perfection, then that would be a right thing to do. You see, because it's a cruel thing that to have the animals slaughtered and to have them taken care of the way they're being taken care of. It's been very proven to be very indecent. So there are, you know, it's sort of like the gray line. You know, it's not wrong to sustain yourself by the bounty of this earth, but at the same time, if we can do better, then that's where we should go. So that's always been my mode, to want to follow that path, but I just can't do it on my own, you know, the way it's my situation is right now. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. And yeah, to be perfect would be to not eat meat at all. To be the ultimate. We're going through a process of perfecting all of our ways, and so ultimately, you know, that would be something I would want to do, but not having you know, a family situation on my own, you know how it's very challenging at times. You know, I eat simple. I eat processed food out of a can. You know, I just it's very difficult. So all right, let me breathe deep here. I'm okay. All right, thank you. So and thank you for that as well, and posing the question, because that's how we come to answers. You know, with posing questions. And so Ninja's saying, I get lightheaded, don't eat meat. If I don't eat meat, I go for 2 or 3 days at a time without cause meat's expensive, right? Yeah, it's going to get worse. And I just got some in that has 25% soy, and I'm not eating it. You know, I got hamburger meat that came in with 25% soybean, right? And you don't want to eat soybean, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So I'm not going to throw it out. I'm going to give it away. I know where you know, I can pass it on. So I got to spread it around, you know, because I I've already got some in there. It's called 80-20, 80-20 meat, you know, and it's soy. Yeah, Soylent Green, right? Okay. Yes, I feel. And Anna's saying, yes, I feel, thinking the same way. Okay, Anna, good. All right, so let's get back to this read now. So after we got into the war, I'll back up a little bit into the other paragraph that we finished with so that it'll move forward. There was absolutely no reason for World War I to be our war. We were railroaded into it. If I can be vulgar, we were suckered into it. I guess that was a vulgar term back then. And that war merely, we were suckered into that war merely so the Zionists of the world could obtain Palestine. That is something that the people of the United States still have never been told. They never knew why we went into World War I. All right. So, yeah, that period of time has always been an enigma for me, you know, in a lot of ways. And I was constantly trying to learn what's going on back then. It seemed like a lifetime ago. In fact, it was a lifetime ago. And it was 40 years, 40 years before I was born. Okay, let me just zip up my vest here. It's getting a little cold all of a sudden. Okay, so after we got into that war, the Zionists went to Great Britain and they said, that's the Zionist Jews, okay, to clarify, the people who want to dominate the world, said, well, we performed our part of the agreement. Oh, you mean you were orchestrating warfare? Is that it, the Zionist Jew, orchestrating warfare? Well, that's right. They said they fund both sides of the war, of course. They said, we performed our part of the agreement. Let's have something in writing that shows that you're going to keep your bargain and they bargained with people's lives, okay, during war. That's pretty good. Bargain and give us Palestine after you win the war. They didn't know whether the war would last another year or 10 years. So they started to work out a receipt. Oh, how nice of them. There's your commerce again, commercial agreements. The receipt took the form of a letter, which was worded in very cryptic language so that the world at large wouldn't know what it was all about. And that was called the Balfour Declaration. Most people have probably heard of it, the Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration was merely Great Britain's promise to pay the Zionist pigs, can you say pigs, what they had agreed upon as a consideration for getting the United States into the war. Oh, so the Jews got us into a war to have our nationals slaughtered on in front of machine gun nests. It was totally orchestrated depopulation program, ladies and gentlemen. If you could get the picture, would you want to run up against a rapid fire machine gun and try to take it down with a rifle? That's all it was. It was a shooting gallery. And then they threw in a little ammonia gas to top it off and ruin people's lives as well. It was the greatest show on earth. And that was the first of the Albert Pike Freemasonic predicted wars. They called it, here's the joke, oh, the war to win all, the war to, what was it called? The war to end all wars, the war to end all wars. Oh, no more war after this one, you know. And yet, of course, all those Jews and all those Kabbalists and all those Freemasons all knew that Albert said, no, there's going to be 2 more wars to come. Yeah, 3 wars. We're going to have 3 wars, and in the end, we're going to kill all the Christians. Morals and dogma. Okay, so the Balfour Declaration was merely Great Britain's promise to pay the Zionists what they had agreed upon as a consideration for getting the United States into the war. So this great Balfour Declaration that you hear so much about is just as phony as a $3 bill. I don't think I could make it more emphatic than that. That is where all the trouble started. The United States got in the war. The United States crushed Germany. You know what happened. When the war ended and the Germans went to Paris for the Paris Peace Conference in 1919, there were 117 Jews there. As a delegation representing the Jews, headed by Bernard Baruch. I was there. I ought to know. Now, what happened? So here, this guy really was an insider, right? He was an eyewitness to all of this. Now, what happened? The Jews at that peace, mind you, he's a Jew, and he's referring to them as the Jews. The Jews, we should add Khazarian, the Jews at the peace conference when they were cutting up Germany. Remember, German means Khazar. German means Khazar. He right in here we got. No, that was in their own words when I read the appendix to my Real Da Vinci Code dictionary. I forgot all that stuff, but there it was in their own words. German means Khazar Jew, because what we think of when we say German is correctly Deutsch. It's Deutsch. And so now what happened? The Jews at that peace conference, when they were cutting up Germany and parceling out Europe to all of those, can you say bankers, Jewish bankers? All of Europe to the nations who claimed a right to a certain part of European territory, said, how about Palestine for us? Now, that's not in Europe. And they produced, hold on. And they produced, for the first time to the knowledge of the Germans, this Balfour Declaration. So the Germans, for the first time, realized, oh, so that was the game. But remember, they always control both sides. So they're playing stupid, but they're all insiders. They are all insiders in that secret handshake club, Ashkenazi. Yeah, that's right. They're Nazis. There's your word Nazi. Come on, the Jews are Nazis. You see? And you can see it more clearly today in the way they treat the Palestinians, right? I mean, they make the SS stormtroopers of Nazi Germany look like Boy Scouts compared to what the Jews, pseudo-Israel, does to people today. Not to mention they took down the World Trade Center, right? The head of the Israeli Mossad, his name is Michael something, I can't remember, but he invited Dmitry Kozlov, who gave us the third truth, and told us exactly how they took down the Twin Towers. The Israeli Mossad had a party that night when they killed 3,000 people. They had a special party. So happy that they slaughtered Americans. Oh, that's right. There was a couple Jews in the Mossad dancing on the top of a roof while their van had a picture of the plane flying into the towers, right? Even though there was no plane, it was all a hologram. Story for another day. Okay, so that was the game, huh? And that's why the United States came into the war. The Germans, for the first time, realized that they were defeated. They suffered the terrific reparations that were slapped onto them because the Zionists wanted Palestine and were determined to get it at any cost. That explains some of the enigmas that always puzzled me. Okay, they got footed the bill. They got footed the bill for the war, which I guess would be right, but yet, as we found out, that nobody ever got onto German soil in that battle. So really, the Germans won the war, but yet well, there's more to the story. I don't think it's all being brought out here. So the Germans, for the first time, realized that they were defeated. They suffered the terrific reparations that were slapped onto them because the Zionist Jew pigs wanted Palestine and were determined to get it at any cost. I would think it's reasonable to say that anybody who would fund both sides of the war to fool people so that they could be slaughtered and maimed and destroyed, I think Zionist Jew pig would fit, right? Just like they wanted to give us the name Jesus in our scriptures, they took away the Aramaic Yahshuah, and Jesus we know means in the Indo-Germanic Yesus. Yesus is you pig snout, right? So you see, so they're the pigs, right? and because they do it to us. They do it to us. And when you read the Babylonian Talmud, you find out what they're really all about. Okay. It's amazing. You know, people are so ignorant, so stupid. I always think back to this guy that I knew when I was in Florida, you know, and he called himself Cafe because he, you know, knew a little bit about the Aramaic, you know, and he was in a special church, quote unquote. And he'd say, "Oh yeah, not only this and that, but you know, they even study the Talmud over there. They're studying the Talmud." He thought that the Talmud, you know, it was cool to have that Talmud enter into their church because he didn't know what it was. You know, he just didn't know about the child raping and all the things that go on in the Babylonian Talmud and how they talk about Yahshuah and you know, you pig snout, and of course even Yeshua from the Messianic tradition. Yeshua, you know, because the Messianic movement is really messy, and they don't even know what's going on either. Those are the lower echelon Jews who followed everything they'd ever been told, just like the stupid Christians. And so Yeshua means in the Messianic movement, but in the Babylonian Talmud means, I'm talking about Yeshua, means may his name be blotted out forever. So you could have Yeshua, may his name be blotted out forever, or you could have Jesus, which means you pig snout. And of course, Christ is Krishna, you know, and Christ is strict, spelled backwards in the anagram. That's what you find in the Catholic Church. So you see, every turn you move on these words, you find out that they don't mean what you think they mean. And that's why we need to go back to original thought. We even have to get past the Hebrew and the Greek and to what was breathed in the Indo-Germanic, because that which is first is superior. That which is first in time, and therefore it has to be superior. And words were never meant to change, ladies and gentlemen. And so you're getting the root forms here when we talk about them, you know, as we did at the beginning, and as we'll talk on all the programs. You know, you're going to see the root forms, and over and over and over, you'll see a pattern. And then you'll be able to see and read it for yourself, because it's not, you know, it's a science. Science means exact knowing. Exact knowing. So you can know that you know that you know. Then you become the master of the diction, rather than the diction being the master over you. Continuing. Okay, that brings us to another very interesting point. When the Germans, Jews, you see that they're on both sides, you know, it's the greatest show on earth, realized this, then they naturally resented it up to that time. Remember, there's always the insiders and the outsiders. Okay, where was I? Up to that time, the Jews had never been better off in any country in the world than they had been in Germany, of course, because they were part controllers of it. Can you say banking? You had Mr. Rathenu there, who was maybe 100 times as important in industry and finance as is Bernard Baruch in this country. You had Mr. Balin, who owned two big steamship lines, the North German Lloyd's and the Hamburg American lines. You had Mr. Blickroder, who was a banker for the Hohenzollern family, Hohenzollern, and you had the Warburgs in Hamburg. He also came over to Jekyll Island when they finally did the Banking Act over here in 1913 or whenever, who were big merchant bankers. Oh, they were big merchant bankers. Okay, the biggest in the world, in fact. Well, that's saying a lot. I don't think those Jews were very oppressed over there then, were they? I'm sure Hitler didn't oppress those Jews, do you think? Oh, when he's being funded by the Federal Reserve in the U.S. and the Chase Manhattan Bank, Adolf Hitler, right? Oh, well, John Paul, I love this. I saw a picture of John Paul, the Pope, you know, the Papa, which means evil and harm and all these other bad ideas, you know, Papa, we talked about that the other day, right? Well, I got a picture of him. I should have saved it. I didn't save it. I lost a lot of data on a lot of computers. But Pope John Paul, when he was a young man, probably in his 20s, he's a salesman for oh geez, I can't remember the company now, but a company that sold poison gas to the Germans. Okay, yeah, it's a well-known company, but I just can't remember it off the top of my head. I'm on the aluminum, excuse me. But anyway, yeah. So Pope John Paul used to sell poison gas during World War II, and just like Ratzinger, Pope Ratzinger, he was in the German Youth Corps. He was in the German Youth Corps, and so it's just amazing, ladies and gentlemen, when you follow the trails back. And you had Mr. Belkier, who was the banker for Hohenzollern family, and you were the Warburgs, were Berg merchants, okay, the biggest in the world. The Jews were doing very well in Germany, no question about that, no question about that. The Germans felt, well, that was quite a sellout, and they didn't know that they were being played upon. It was a sellout that might be compared to the hypothetical situation. Suppose the United States was at war with the Soviet Union and we were winning, and we were told the Soviet Union, we told this, and we told the Soviet Union, well, let's quit. We offer you peace terms. Let's forget about the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, Red China came into the war as an ally of the Soviet Union, and throwing them into the war brought about our defeat, a crushing defeat, with reparations like of which man's imagination cannot encompass. Imagine then, after that defeat, if we found out that it was the Chinese in this country, sort of like the Jews, right, in this country, our Chinese citizens, who all the time we had thought were loyal citizens working with us, talking about the Jews though, right, were selling us out to the Soviet Union, and that it was through them that Red China was brought into the war against us. And that's exactly what the Jews are doing today and have done all along, ladies and gentlemen. What a great illustration. How would we feel then if the United States against Chinese? I don't think that one of them would dare show his face on any street. There wouldn't be enough convenient lampposts to take care of them. Imagine how we would feel. Well, that's how the Germans felt towards the Jews. They'd been so nice to them from 1905 on. Well, that's because it was arranged that way. You know that. When the first communists, can you say Jew, communist Jew, revolution in Russia failed, the first Jewish communist revolution in Russia failed, and the Jews had to scramble out of Russia. They all went to Germany, of course. They're brothers, because German means Khazarian, Ashkenazi Jew. And Germany gave them refuge, and they were treated very nicely. And here they had sold Germany down the river, the Jews sold Germany down the river for no reason at all other than, no, there is always a reason, always a motive behind all these things. They're going to get Palestine, right? At all other than the fact that they wanted Palestine as a so-called Jewish commonwealth. Now I'll just read into this, and I'm going to cap it off here. Now, Nachum Sokolov, probably it was originally Sokolov, and all the great leaders and great names that you read about in the connection with Zionism today in 1919, 1920, 21, 22, 23, wrote in all their papers, and the press was filled with their statements. And the feeling against the Jews in Germany is due to the fact that they realized that this great defeat was brought about by Jewish intercession in bringing the United States into the war. The Jews themselves admitted that. It wasn't that, there's the air raid siren. I don't know if you can hear it over my headset, but they do it at 11. Actually, it's a little early, but yeah, they're testing their air raid. Just in case, you might say, huh? It wasn't that the Germans in 1919 discovered that a glass of Jewish blood tasted better than Coca-Cola or Muensker beer. Muensker beer. I'm going to say that 3 times fast. There was no religious feeling. There was no sentiment against those people merely on account of their religious belief. It was all political. It was economic. It was anything but religion. Nobody cared in Germany whether a Jew went home and pulled down the shades and said, Shema Yisrael, or Our Father. Nobody cared in Germany any more than they do in the United States. Well, maybe we should care now, huh? Now, this feeling that developed later in Germany was due to one thing. The Germans held the Jews responsible for their crushing defeat of World War I. Well, who's at the head of Freemasonry? Kabbalistic Jews. Who created the Jesuits? Who wrote Mein Kampf? The Jews. Talk about controlling both sides, ladies and gentlemen, right? I'm telling you, they control it all. And then they want you to feel sorry for them. Oh, they're just misunderstood people. They're, they're just good old boys. Yeah. Well, they follow their Babylonian Talmud called you goyim, and they want to cut off your head with their no-hide laws, right? Yeah. And they go, and the best thing of all, they got the stupid Christians in America to bow down and worship them as the chosen, Okay, I think in the beginning they were chosen, but not the Jewish Ashkenazi Jews, but Israel, right? They're not even Israel. And so Israel was at one point no longer chosen because they sold out to idolatry and commerce, and then these usurpers came in and took over and changed their names, and presto magico, we have a pseudo-Israel. But it's the greatest show on earth, ladies and gentlemen. It's what they didn't want you to know, of course. And we're telling it right here because somebody's got to do it. It's the forbidden history, right? I mean, come on. We're hearing some things we've not heard before, and you can tell by the numbers that most people don't care. They want to hear about Trump and Washington and Q, and they want somebody to tell them everything. Don't worry, everything, honey, is okay. Everything will be all right. No, where we are right now is where they were in the Bolshevik Revolution. Where we are right now is where they were in Nazi Germany. Where we are right now is where they were in the French Revolution. Where we are right now is where they were in the earlier periods of time in revolution. Okay? And cycle, because it is a cycle of the Phoenix, the 500-year cycle of the Phoenix. And they take nations up and they bring them down. Talk about the game, a game, huh? Well, that's the ultimate game, isn't it? But the game is on them because they go back to dirt when it's all said and done. And so, Ninja, let's go to another break. When we get back, I'm going to share my latest translation project I've been working on. And again, if you have any questions, then repost them, please, if I missed them. Yeah, Xylocon B. Thank you very much. By IG Farben. Thank you, Ninja. That's right. Oh, and they're owned by the Rothschild. Boy, she's doing some good research there. What a backup. Thank you. Zyklon. That's right. By Pope John Paul. Oh, didn't we always love John Paul? He just looked like a schmoosy poosy wussy. I mean, come on, like peace and love, brother. You know what I mean? Just, yeah. But I contributed to the poison gas routine in Nazi Germany. Oh, Mein Kampf being written by Jesuits, right? I mean, come on. Does anything make sense anymore? When we realize that order out of chaos, ladies and gentlemen, they control all sides. Just like my retired intelligence officer friend, took me a decade to figure out he plays both sides. But he said any group bigger than 3 people has already been infiltrated. Well, put 2 and 2 together. Not literally is it true, but any group that's going to be, a threat to them, they infiltrate, And so that's the way it is, ladies and gentlemen, on planet Earth. And so we're going to take another break. And when we get back, we're going to cover a little more territory, maybe go some more words. Got a question, repost it. And you did tell your friends, right, about the broadcast? If you have any friends, certainly. I know once you start waking up, then nobody wants to talk to you anymore. I know that firsthand. But in the meantime, we're going to tell it like it is, ladies and gentlemen, because somebody's got to do it. I mean, if they're coming to kill all of us anyway, what do we got to lose, right? Nothing. But to help some friends out figure it out so they can realize this is not their world and that we have to look up. We have to look up, and because our redemption is near, it is nigh, it is now. and we can transcend this world and be set free when they come taking us away. Okay. And so one more segment to go. And thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
Okay, welcome back. I'd like to welcome any new listeners to the program. You're listening to Ask Dezert-Owl on the Forbidden History series. I'm NinjaCat, and we're still going. Okay, I would like to show you some channels that we highly recommend. They're expert researchers, and each, like, they have dedicated their lives to exposing all the lies, and there are a lot. This whole world is a lie. So they have done the research for you. By all means, look for confirmation on anything that you see out there, but these channels are the best out there.
Ninja, you don't have the channels up.
Yes, I do.
You do. Well, I see a library.
Okay, there's a delay. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, it matches with the voice when it goes
Gotcha.
up.
Okay, forgive me for jumping in.
You're forgiven. Anyway,
You're the engineer. I'm only here. That's all right.
I'm muddling through tonight, Desert, so please forgive me. Yeah, we're still here, so yay. Okay, where was I? These channels, they expose the lies. They help you. Oh, I had it. Sorry, my words are gone.
Well, I just want to add, for people that don't have a lot of time, they have a life they need to get on with, and to save you time.
Yes.
These are the ones that I listen to exclusively. I don't listen to any other programs unless it's a unique report by a nurse or a doctor, something that is relevant to the story. But these are the top picks for saving you time, ladies and gentlemen, because time is short. So rather than go to a bunch of idiots that don't know what they're talking about, these are the experts. These are the ones who paid their dues and are being persecuted by the beast for their efforts. Okay, so there it is, short and sweet.
Yeah, you can power through the lies to get straight to the truth that Desert is exposing. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, so now that we've gotten past that, this is a caller generated program. So feel free to call in with questions, comments. We're about to go to a beautiful read, but feel free to call in. The number is in the chat, 608-566-7295, or you can Skype NinjaCat, all one word, and look for the white circle with the purple NinjaCat with a sword. Okay, so back to you, Desert.
Okay, thank you, and welcome everyone again. And I can see the people are rushing in to hear this broadcast. I'm always amazed at how many people. We don't have any algorithm. I had rhythm when I played guitar. I had rhythm, but we don't get any rhythm here because they hit our guts, and it's because it took me a long time to realize. Of course, it's YouTube, right? You know what I mean? It's they control banking, they control the politicians, they control the internet, they control and of course the heads of Google, Jews, the head of Facebook, Jew. Just look at them, okay? All of them are, and even Facebook, is on one hacker way. One hacker way. Don't they love to just joke with us, spell it out the way it really is, and nobody will get it. Even the people that work there. You think the people that work there, they must all be Jews, because if they were regular people, why would they want to work at one hacker way, knowing that they siphon off all the materials of the people in their lives, right? That's how they know about everybody's life. They got every way to know about everything we do. Well, we don't even know who they are, where they are, why they are. Who's running the show anyway? Who's on first? What's on second? And I don't know who's on third, right? So, and who's pitching? Oh, Fauci's pitching. That's right. Yeah, he threw a curveball. He couldn't pitch it right, huh? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is amazing that the people haven't put two and two together because the Jews are the victims. They're the victims. Don't feel sorry for them. Feel sorry for them because they they're an oppressed people. Yeah, they're an oppressed people. They have all the funny money in the world, and they locked in on every important element in the world, including medicine. Let's not leave off the medicine, right? Dr. Kildare. Remember the Jewish Hollywood produced a TV program for the Jewish medical industry, and they called the program Dr. Kildare. Dare to kill, doctor. Dare to kill, because that's what Rockefeller allopathic medicine does. It dares to kill. Give them the drug, cut them up, slice them and dice them, and you'll feel better tomorrow. Dare to kill, doctor. Well, enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's just get on. Before I did the read of the last bit of translating I did yesterday, I just thought it'd be good to give you another slice, because I'm literally in translators, to use a cliche, heaven here, heaven. It's not heaven. Heaven is even when the sun goes down. So it's again another one of those tricks they played on us. The evening, heaven, darkness. Okay, you see, there it is again. And okay, so Anna, you're saying didn't Yahshuah eat lamb? No, he gave. If you read the original gospel, misnomered as the Aquarian gospel, or is it in the gospel of the Holy 12 and the Perfect Life? One of them, and there we find out that no, they didn't eat the lamb. They ate bread. They drank wine, ate bread and grapes, but they did not eat the lamb. They let the lamb live. They let the lamb live, and that was one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons that Judas also went to the priests, because he felt he was using in his mind the excuse that Yahshuah was profaning the Passover by not sacrificing the Passover lamb. And so that was one of the things. And he even had a witness that went with him when he betrayed Yahshuah. So no, so he wouldn't. If when you read the original gospel, which is the original Q source, okay, to use that Q again, Q is like saying, I don't know, but no, we know where the Q is. I've got the Q. I've been sharing it with everyone. It's the original gospel, misnomered as the Aquarian. And in there, okay, he, where was I going with that now? I was it was right on the front of my forehead. When you read the original gospel, you find out that like when he was a little boy and he saw the sacrifices going on, he says, why? He went to Hillel the first in the school of Hillel, and he said to him, why are they killing? Don't you hear those bleeding sheep out there? Why are you killing? If this is the place of love, then why are you killing? You see? And so this again is the only reason you didn't know that, and it's because you didn't read it, and it's been kept secret, and not in our regular scriptures. And but it's absolutely true that he abhorred the sacrifice. They were vegetarian, but they ate fish, because remember, fish are not mammals. Fish come from a lower primitive life source. It's a primitive life source. So he ate fish, but anything on the surface of the land, only vegetation did he eat. No animals, no mammals. Okay. And then you're saying here they don't have a life of their own. They're living off of us. Okay, that's a different thought. That's you're talking about the Jews, I think, right? Okay. Well, anyway, before I get into that translation, I wanted to just real quick. I have had this note for the last several programs, and I figured I might as well knock it out, because some of the scriptures are hard to interpret for us. And so I just wanted to read this one. This is in Luke chapter 16, the first part. And because it's a rough translation, and I think a lot of the people just really might not get what's being implied here. Actually, Ninja got me going on it the other day, because she was implying that she felt like she wasn't giving it 100%, and I had told her in the past, when she came to this knowledge, that you give whatever you can give. If you can only give 80%, you give 80%. If you can only give 60%, you give 60%, but you have to give, because what'll happen, Yahshuah will work in your life, and he'll transform your being into being capable, of giving a greater percentage of yourself, of your in other words, it's the world that's keeping us down. It's the struggle, that we're in, to overcome the self, which is the serpent, which is the ego, to overcome what is coming at us from all sides, that wants to keep us down, enslave us. I know a lady who's a slave to her house. The house owns her, right? We don't own anything, and everything we think we own actually owns us, right? So it's a tough world to get over. And so I just wanted to share this because it was about the wise steward, who is actually considered by his owner not to be very wise. And I'm just going to read it here, chapter 16, Luke. And he spoke a parable, which is a power bull, to his truth seekers, saying, there was a rich man who had a steward. Now, see, I wouldn't use the word steward in the translation, because steward means one who takes care of pigs. Does that not fit with everything else we've been saying? One who takes care of pigs is a steward. So he was a good steward. No, he wasn't a steward at all. He was an accountant. He was a servant. And they accused him that he was wasting his wealth. So his mother Star, his owner, called him and said to him, what is this that I hear concerning you? Give me an account of your servant state. It says stewardship. I just don't like using that word. For no longer can you be a servant of mine. And the servant said to himself, what can I do? For my healer and sunrise will take away from me my accountingship. Stewardship, I'll just say it. I gotta get my thesaurus out. And I hadn't read it ahead of time, but I've been reading this all my life, so it's not like I need to say. So he said, I can't dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. Now I know what I can do, that when I leave my servant state, they will he will receive me back into his house. This is why it's poorly translated. He's thought of a way. He's thought of a way that after his master kicks him out, he could come back in. Okay. And he called his owner's debtors, one by one, and he said to the first, how much do you owe my lord? And he said to him, 100 measures of butter. And he said to him, take your note and sit down quickly and write down 50. So that's half, right? So he's suggesting, well, if you can't give 100%, then give 50%. And he said to another, and you, what do you owe my healer and sunrise? And he said to him, 100 bushels of wheat. And he said to him, take your note and write down 80 bushels. So he couldn't give 100%. And so the idea was, to the people that owe the debt, well, gee, if I don't have it, I can't give. If I don't have everything I owe, it's like saying I can't give anything. And so that was an illogic, because it would make more sense to give what you can give, and hopefully you could give the rest later, but better to get something than nothing. And so it was like take all or take it, all or none. But it's not all or none. You give what you can give, and and the rest will be worked out. And so his Lord praised the unjust servant because he had acted wisely. For the seed of this world are, now you see, it says wiser in the generation than the children of light. That's not true. But they are more clever. The word would be clever, not wiser, but they are clever. I'm writing it down for a note. That they are more clever in their generation than the seed of light, because we're not the type of people that would want to manipulate or trick somebody. So we're sometimes we're not that clever, because we don't think, like the money merchants and all that, right? So this is a really poor translation, and that's why I wanted to share an example with you. And he says also that I also say to you, use this earthly wealth, however acquired, to make peace, not make friends, but to make peace. That's what it's all about, making peace, so that when it is spent up, they will receive you. Not they, but he. That's what it's about. The owner is taking them back so that he will receive you. This is how they've totally butchered this, that he will receive you, and you will have an everlasting habitation. You see, so I gave you the most correct translation you probably ever heard right here on the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so important to see that you're supposed to give 110%, and most of us aren't given 100%, but we have to, rather than feel guilt, to find hope that with the little that we can do, to serve. In other words, just like some of us, he's given a lot. Like, look at what he's given to me, right? You want to talk about feeling guilty, feeling worthless, feeling inadequate. When he's given all this to me, and I know that I'm not where I should be within my spiritual walk, that I've got so much further I've got to go because of what I know. And then, like, when I create Light Before the program for all of my friends, that they can wrap their mind around all this, because everyone's life is precious. Everyone certainly would want to live in what we call paradise, to have a day without end, to never know again sorrow or loneliness or hate, these ill affecting notions that affect us, like I was going to say, hatred, the things that people do to each other. This is not our world. This is a world of insanity. And so we need to be set free, ladies and gentlemen. So don't be a steward, okay? Be an Ashar fan. That's the original word for servant. An Ashar fan. There's the word sharpen. If you're a servant, you're a sharpen. You're sharpening yourself. You're always getting sharper. You have to be, and you have to be good. You have to become a master at walking the walk in this world to escape this world. And that fits right in with somewhat of what this was saying in here, if I think right. I'm trying to remember now. So I'm going to go into the Gospel of the Silk Road. I started on chapter 9, and I'm hoping I'll find that piece that I was just thinking of in there when I was talking. But this was poignant to me, because I realized, the people in Esharayulva, well, in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem, they they wanted nothing to do anymore with the system. We use the word system, that means sewer, right? Just like steward means one who takes care of pigs. But the point is that they were just becoming disillusioned back then. They knew that nothing was right, something was wrong, because the priesthood were nothing other than fat, wealthy merchants, taxing everything they could get a penny for, taxing everything. And then at the same time, they had to deal with the Roman Empire, who wanted to nail them to a cross, so they're and taxing them. So they got the priesthood taxing them, they got the Roman Empire taxing them, and so the people. That's why the Essenes went to live in caves. You see, they knew that the priesthood was a falsehood. They knew it was a Babylonian merchandising Hindu scam on all the people. And so they went and separated themselves. So it's what we're supposed to do. And they went in and lived in caves. And they perfected their lives. They rewrote the scriptures. They preserved them. They were the true ones, waiting for the seed of light. Waiting for the seed of light. The Dead Sea Scrolls are worth reading, because you'll hear from the true ones. They were the true ones. But we didn't have to become like Essenes, is what Yahshuah was teaching us, that the regular people, the common people, could be followers. But at that time of all that oppression and all that persecution and taxation from both sides, the people were spent. They couldn't work on Sunday. They couldn't, even pick up a mat, right? They couldn't pick up a mat, but the priest, he could go take his sheep out of the pit, right? He could do whatever he wanted to do. Well, I guess if he were talking on Saturday or on the Shabbat, then he'd also be in violation, because what are you doing teaching on the Shabbat, right? Day Shabbat. And let me take a sip of my drink here and regroup. Hang on. So this is the dilemma, and that's what I was writing about, the part where I was translating yesterday, and I saw it in a way I never saw it before, and that's why I wanted to read it for y'all. Okay, so Anna, last name. Anna, are you sure that's your last name? I'm guessing. I don't know what you mean when you say Anna, last name. That's always been an enigma to me, but I figured you've had to change your name several times because of the persecution you're going through, right? And you're saying this is the last time you're going to do it, right? Is that what that is? You can clarify. Okay, question. If there was no town called Nazareth, she's really rolling out the questions, I got to say. And Anna's trying to figure this stuff out now, all of it. She wants the big kahuna. If there was no town called Nazareth, where then did Yahshuah come from or live? No, you see, it's not a town. It was a community. It was not, Nazareth is not an original word. They were the Nazarei. He was staying with the community of the Nazarei in Galilee. Okay. And so that's it in simple. But Constantine's wife, when they decided to take over Christianity with the Roman Empire and become a pseudo Christianity, then Constantine's mother came over here and gave us the false Mount Sinai in the Sinai Peninsula, and also okay, I don't know what the no means now. I forgot. Okay, no, that is not your last name. Okay, and so anyway, his mother then also created a town called Nazareth. She found the false place where he was crucified, not the real place. They gave us falsehoods. They created a layover, just like with Washington D.C. The corporation. It's a layover of what was supposedly an original layout of a story. So that's all. It's all about switch out. Anyway, hope that helped you out. Okay, they were the Nazarei. He wasn't the Nazarene. He was the Nazarei. Okay, what was breathed into Hadam, the Aryan race, from the beginning, what was preserved by the Nazarei, what was breathed into their nostrils, the nasal, the Nazarei, the light that was breathed, they preserved. They were in the pure Aryan line, while all the other tribes and peoples were cross mingling and wanted to quit. They wanted to quit, as I said, following this totalitarian priesthood that wanted to control everybody, another form of mind control. Yeah, well, I figured that one out, Anna. Okay, it's not your last name. I figured that one out. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna have to get Anna to call in one day and get an update on Finland and what's happening up there. And anyway, she's been one of our friends that came in when we started doing this broadcast. And so anyway, let me go ahead and read that. Okay. I'm wearing out. Okay. If you can't tell. Yes. Or thank you. Okay. So where is it now? Here it is. Alrighty. High noon. Okay. This is in the chapter 9 now. And then we're going to wrap it up. And it's not long. Okay. I got to tell you, it's not long. And I'm going to save the read for the final hours for tomorrow, Sunday special. I've taken care of a lot of business. I'm not even reading all these cards I got here in front of me, and I have more than enough material. I'll never run short, I got to tell you. So chapter 9 is now when he gets back into Israel. After the first 8 chapters is about how he went into India and Tibet and to Persia and to Babylon and all, and he talked to those priests and told them the way it really was. They wanted to kill him. I'll tell you what, I'll read that last piece. In fact, I'll back up a little bit because that's really cool too. I had to hear this, how he told them. And mind you, I've not read this through before. This will be the first time. If I can find the part where I want to start. Okay, here you go. Here you go. Okay, coming up. All right. Backing up a little more. Geez, I practically have to read that chapter. The Zen rays every day in order to bring warmth. Okay. I guess I want to have to, all right. Yeah, okay. Okay, the surrounding region. I'm going to start in chapter 8. 8 is the Stargate. The surrounding regions were all filled with renown of the seed planting of the royal eye, Yahshuah, so that when the eye entered Phaeacia, that's Persia, that's going back into original Indo-Germanic form, Phaeacia, and that means the power of the woman's royal eye, and that's exactly what Persia was. The priest became terrified and forbid that the faithful to listen to him. The faithful is the original for people. The faithful. The Fae is the woman that gave us form. We are physical creation of the Fae, the virgin light. But when they saw all the villagers welcoming him with great excitement, while the faithful hung on his every eshavor, every word, with a pure heart, when being seen by the priest, it resulted in his being arrested and brought before the high priest by their orders, where the eye was challenged by the following questions. About what new diva, and I may have to, I'm reading this for the first time, so I'm seeing some things I can perfect in here. About what new diva are you seed planting? Do you not, and diva is their terminology for God, or surah, or shure, okay? Surah is about the middle ground. Diva is more towards out of India, but there was a Hindu influence throughout this entire region, so it's still applicable here. So about what new diva or surah are you seed planting? Do you not know, uninformed as you are? See, now they're insulting him, Yahshuah. Do you not know, uninformed as you are, that the anointed... Oh, wait a minute. Or is he answering? Let me see here. Oh, no. Okay. What about what new diva are you seed planting? Now I'm trying to see who's speaking. I may have to separate the line in order to fix that. Do you not know? I'm assuming this is Yahshuah now talking. I've got to. That's why I have to read it through, ladies and gentlemen, so I can make sure. But we're doing it live. This is a workshop, and we're doing it live. You're hearing it first. First ones to hear this profound transliteration of the Gospel of the Silk Road. You didn't know there were other Gospels, did you? Unless you've been listening in. Do you not know? And I think it's Yahshuah talking to the priest, because he's answering their question about what new diva are you seed planting. Do you not know, uninformed as you are, that the anointed Zoroaster, also known as Zarathustra, is the only just Ashan to be admitted to the honor of receiving communications? Okay, so the priests are continuing. So it's the priest talking. Do you not know, uninformed as you are, that the anointed Zoroaster is the only just Ashan to be admitted to the honor of receiving communications and revelations from the mother star in the eye of the return, and that the eye he has ordered the royal messengers to record in written laws his Ashavors for the governance of his faithful that were given to Zoroaster in the Garden of Atoms? Who then are you who dares to breathe smoke against our Kuta, Arkutha. And that again is God, but it literally means code. You can hear it. It's because the way they were spelling it is Koda. And there's the word code. And see, it's just like Lucifer, right? Same thing. Um, to know the meaning of these words is important. Okay, so let me try it again. And then are you, who then are you who dares to breathe smoke against Arkutha and sow the seeds of doubt within the hearts of all these followers? Let me just correct the word here. These. Okay, control save. Then the royal eye Yahshuah, breathe, and I'm going to highlight that. That way I don't forget this the next time, because it was the first time reading it. I actually was a little lost there and didn't know who was talking. That's the problem we have again with transliteration, you know, because people are mistranslating some of the things that they're translating, and then, you know, that's how the problems occur. Okay, so then the royal eye Yahshuah breathed before them, I do not proclaim any new kuta, but only speak about the great Father who rules from his throne in the Zana, who rules from his throne in the sun. Zan, silent A. Zan means the infinite harvest. Anna, there's your name right there. Anna, by the way, means harvest. It's a perfect anagram, and you can read it frontwards and backwards the same way. So it means harvest. I just thought you might want to know that. Okay, so who rules? Okay, let's try this again. Then the royal eye Yahshuah breathed before them, I do not proclaim any nukuta, but only speak about the great Father who rules from his throne in the sun, who is omnipresent and omnipotent before this creation ever began, and will remain omnific without end. It is Avu, the one of the many. And Avu is showing original in here. That's what I'm doing. I'm teaching, showing in this translation with the side notes is the original, is the modern, and it is about the one of the many. So it is about the one of the many that I have seed planted before the faithful, who like innocent youth cannot yet comprehend the Yahweh through the force of their own intelligence in order to penetrate his travain and perfect subliminal Aisha fire, his subliminal spirit. Just as a newborn youth in the darkness of night recognizes its mother's breast, in the same way your faithful are held and led into the darkness of error, all by your erroneous and pernicious doctrines, coupled with your religious ceremonies, have instinctively recognized their great Father, the Yahweh, of whom I am, as the star navigator within the Faithor, within the Father. The eternal Vone, the eternal one, living and being, breathes to your faithful through the medium of the mother star mouth. You must not pay the homage to the sun. You must not worship the sun. That's a clarification in here, because that's how the Zoroastrians fell into. They originally recognized the sun was the house of the spirit, but then they ultimately fell into worshiping the image, the logo, rather than the spirit. You see, that's the problem. And so you must not pay the homage to the sun. I am the spirit that sits within, for it is only a part of the great omniverse, the universe, that I have created for all Ashan. It's only one part. You know, if you have to worship that part, you have to worship all of it. You don't worship creation. The Zan rays, the sun rays, every day, in order to bring warmth when you are at work. It sets in order to point towards that rest that I have ordained and fixed forever. It is from me alone that you have all that you possess, including all that surrounds you, either above or below. It is owned by me. And the Father is speaking here. But breathe the priests. How could a faithful live according to the pure shelter or law of light if they had no seed planter? The royal eye Yahshuah responded, for all time, when the people had no priests, the faithful were directed and restrained by the natural shelter, the natural law, with a simplicity preserve their pure conscience through sincerity, not manipulation, not mind control, not deception, but through pure consciousness and through sincerity. Their nafshel, or their soul, was found wrapped up in the Yahweh, and when they wanted to communicate with the great Phrathor, they did not need to keep running back and return to some dead idol, animal, or flame for intermediation, as is being taught by your practice. And it was the Zoroastrians who prayed before the flame, and then it all become misconstrued thanks to priesthoods. You falsely claim that all Eshan must pay the homage back to the sun, the source of light, but not of blindness. It is truth when I breathe before you that your doctrine is destructive and brings death. The sun does not create any. Let me try that again. The sun does not create and perform spontaneously on its own, but instead by the Travain will, the divine will of the Yahweh, whose own invisible A spirit breathed into it, bringing forward light and giving it its own quality and form. Therefore, it is not the I, he who has willed that this czar star should increase the day. Let me try this again because I've got both in there and I'll just read the modern. Therefore, it is not he who has willed that this star should increase the day, nourish and warm the Eshan. I got to highlight this because I think I have a word here that doesn't belong. It is his will, and I may have added the word not by mistake. That's why we're proofreading it here. Okay, he who has willed that this star should increase the day, nourish and warm the Eshan while bringing Veta, life, for the seed that is sown in the go-round, the ground. The eternal Esha fire is the nafshah, the soul of everything that is alive. Okay, so the eternal spirit is the soul of everything that is alive. Everything is animating and is telling a story, if we can only read it. And the spirit is behind it all. Continuing. So you are acting blindly by dividing the one of the many into a spirit of darkness and that of light, since there is no other spirit but the spirit of light. And remember that quote with Albert Pike on the last program? He said that they were embracing the spirit of darkness, but the spirit of darkness is nothing there. You see, because right here it says there is no other spirit but the spirit of light. What happens when you go in a dark room and turn on the light? Whoa, the darkness flees, goes away, nothing there, no spirit. And the I, he is just like the father of a family who is only directed towards what is excellent for his offspring, whose faults and transgressions the I, he forgives if they sincerely rebreathe with the breath of a star. Rebreathing with the breath of a star is the original meaning for repent. Repent. Pent is the star. Pent is breath. The star is breathing. Penta, like pentagram. For the winds of darkness remain entranced down on the earth within the hearts of those Eshan who turn the seed of light away from the path of light. So there it is. The winds of darkness remain entranced down on this earth within the hearts of those Eshan who turn the seed of light away from the path of light, to distract them, to transform them, alter them on the sacred altar of deception. For this reason, I breathe before you, fear and revere the golden age of the great focusing light that comes, which is the one we're in now, because the Yahweh will strike a destroying punishment upon all of those who have misled or forced his offspring to deviate from the true path of light, and who have filled them with superstitions, falsehoods, and prejudgment. Upon all of those who have blinded those who had eyes to see, carrying their contagion, can you say virus? Carrying their contagion to the powerful as well, and made them psychopaths, who have taught the adoration and worship of those things of which the Yahweh made to be subject to all Ashan, for his own unique requirements and for his labor. Your dog train doctrine. There's your dog train of the priesthood, the dog train. The dogs are the priests that do the bidding of Papa, the evil one. Your dog train, your doctrine, for this reason, the poison fruit of these errors, as you sought to control the truth of the Yahweh by creating for your own agenda false deities. What are the false deities? Satan, devil, demon, Lucifer, idols, images, and priesthoods. Desert's footnote there, okay? I just answered the question, what those false deities are. The priests, after having heard all of these Ashavors, feared and resolved for themselves not to do him harm because they felt guilty. But during the night, while the entire city was sleeping, they led him outside the city walls through its main gate and abandoned him on the main road, hoping that he would soon become the prey of some wild beast. They were hoping. But being beneath the protection of the pure shelter of the Yahweh, the anointed royal eye, Yahshuah, continued along his path unharmed. And what's left of chapter 9 that I did, chapter 9, verse 1, the royal eye, Yahshuah, who the great architect had chosen to recall the re-establishment of the true homage for the true one, the Yahweh, for all Ashan who are walking blind with their eyes closed, was now 30 years old when he arrived back into the land of Asha Reuva, Israel. Since the departure from the pure tradition of the royal eye, the false priests had caused the remnant of true Asha Reuva to endure even more atrocious bondage than they did in Babylon. You get it? They were basically free in Babylon, but now when they go back to their home, what happens? They fall and have to endure even more atrocious bondage than in Babylon. And so, like an animal that is preyed upon by a wild beast, they fell into complete despair. The people, not happy, despair. That's what we see in the star message, in this, what we call gospel, right? That's why Yahshuah, they're all following him. It's a revolution going on. Thank you very much. Many among them began to abandon or neglect the pure shelter, the pure tradition of the Yahweh, and those of Moleshan, Moses, while hoping to appease the ruthless Romans. So they'd rather be good, Roman citizens than good citizens of Jerusalem. They'd rather quit the religion, not therefore be restricted by it, and just be good citizens of Rome. Continuing, in the presence of this double extortion, that's what it was, double extortion between these two power centers, in spite of their unhappy state, the royal eye, Yahshuah, exhorted his fellow Ashanic tribe not to be in despair, because the age of redemption from blindness has come. And the eye himself, by his own example, confirmed and strengthened their victory of light, conviction and faith, in the Yahweh of their fathers. The one eye do not give, little one eyes, little ones, do not give yourselves over to despair. Breathes the great Faithor, Father, who rules from his throne in the sun, through the voice of the royal eye, Yahshuah. For I have heard the cries of my people. And that's where it ends right there, ladies and gentlemen. So you just got the forbidden history, what they stole away and kicked under the rug. And the best is still to come in this document. Well, yeah, it's Aramaic. Aramaic is also corruption. Our Aramaic is RK, RAR. Aramaic. Okay, let me spell that first. ARAMAIC, which is correctly ARKHAYMALEKH. There's Aramaic. RK Malek. RK Malek, the archive, right? The archive is the, you go to the archives when you want to get information, right? The power of the keys, RK, literally means the power of the keys, ARKHAY, the POWER of the keys. Add the keys of fire. That's what's implied. It's they're the burning swords. Words are the burning swords on the page, and Malek is the mother tongue. Lek for lecture, eclectic. Okay, so it's not a dictionary. It's a lectionary. See how they hit it? Lectionary. So it's the mother's tongue. So it's the powerful fiery keys of the mother's tongue. That's what Aramaic means in the original. You see, and so it is correct. I use Indo-Germanic because it's a known term in in what has been stolen from us. They now want to call Aramaic Syriac, and so which is the Greek. So they always want to stuck in the Greek or the Hebrew and not in the original Aramaic, RK Malek. Okay, and so the word was Israel. I'm going to spell it in the original root form, in the original thought, I think is what you mean, Anna. So here it goes. ISRAEL, which is, well, I'll just pop it in. And then it is ASHARAYOOLVAT. Eshrei Ulva. Eshrei Ulva. Okay? I only put the apostrophes in there to help break it up, to help people know how to pronounce these words. The apostrophes should not be in there, but I do it as a matter of habit to help everybody. So you can see it. And what does it mean? Eshrei, the royal eye of light, with the vision for the serpent, because the Vat is the serpent. You see? So it's about vision. It's about seeing. Remember they were told in the wilderness when they were all dying of the sting of death, which is what everyone has when they come into the world, is the sting of death, that Moeshan was told to put a brass serpent up on a cross and go through the camp, and if they could see the serpent, they could live. Well, that's what it means. The royal eye of light with vision for the serpent, to see the serpent, to see that you are the serpent, and therefore you have to kill the serpent, ego, the self, to live for the one. See, so it's in the word. It's what the performance of the drama was played out in the wilderness, the barren wasteland, the ulva. You see, so it's owl serpent. It's both, right? It's two creations there. The owl is the father of light. He's the one who sees in the night, and then the lower creation. You got the higher creation, lower creation. And isn't that about the duality, right? That's what we see. We see true Israel, false Israel. All of the duality continually happening in this saga. Northern kingdom, southern kingdom, old world, new world. And this is why they had to corrupt everything, because they didn't want us getting these pictures, because it would set us free from them, the controllers. Okay, so I hope that help you out. Here's one more definition. The word letter, L-E-T-T-E-R, which speaking about symbols. Letters are symbols, and it's L-A-Y-T-O-R-A. Torah, which means light power. Le-tor, actually, the A is silent. It's a consonant. So it's le-tor, and it means lay is light, okay? And then power is Tor. And this has to do with the bull. They want you to think the old covenant was called Torah. Well, that's full of bull. And so it's not the Torah. The Torah is the Talmud. The old covenant is called the Pentateuch. The Pentateuch, the 5 books. And okay, so it's endless words. Words are endless, right? So we could just keep doing this. And we're gonna. I'll give you one more here because it doesn't take a lot of what do you want to say? Discussion. Anglo is actually. I'm just showing you the meaning of it without getting into it because Anglo means the one light, but the one light it's referring to is the because we know about the Anglo-Saxons, right? Sextant, the mariners, right? Navigating back home. Anglo basically in simple terms is Aryan, okay? And you're welcome, Anna. Ready? So the one light. The Aryan is claiming to be the one light, the sun gods, the sky gods, all of those things, They convinced the people they came from the star Sirius when they came over there in the backwoods of India, the base of the mountain, in the mountain, above the mountain. They control all mountains. It's the greatest show on earth, ladies and gentlemen, and they got everyone under mind control. They control the right, they control the left, they control what's up, they control what's down, at least in the illusion, because they're not above, they're from below. They're nowhere up there. How can you be on a mountain, the true Zion, the true Zevon, and in the clouds? Well, when you can be in the clouds if you're at the top of the highest mountain, the true mountain of Zevon. But it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for being in the light of the sun. That's the great logo. That's the great symbol. If you made the entire universe, if you're a Malek or a king, what greater symbol could you have than a star? Isn't that what all the Jews, right? All the Khazars in Hollywood, they all want to be stars. All the singers, right? They all want to be stars, right? But they're phony stars. They're dead planets. They're dead moons. They have no light. They give lies. And they want to control all of you. So be set free, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for tuning in today. I'm talked out, but I'm honored to have a few friends, not many. And that's the way I like it, because we can take care of business and help a few people out. It's easier to work with a few than it is with a lot. And so I'm Desert Owl telling you, don't forget, if you want to know the future, then you need to look for the forbidden history, because it's all right here, coming your way, somewhere out there, 7 days a week on the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. And if you want to know the future, then you need to look for the forbidden history. I'll see you. Peace and love, all of you. Be safe. And come back tomorrow.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never